Okay, so it's a bit chilly today. It's the 29th of November, so I am coming to you a little bit late in the month, this month. And I mean, look around, we've got snow. It's been a really bizarre month, to be honest, because we've had such warm, mild, sunny conditions, not very much rain. It's been like a really long autumn this year. It's been lovely. And then it's like overnight, the switch just flicked. And now it's winter and we've had snow. I mean, not a lot in fairness, but we've had snow in November, which is really, really rare for us. In fact, I think the last time, I was trying to think back to the last time I could remember snow in November. And I think it was that year when it was really cold. I think it was -12 some nights in 2010, 2011. I remember I was at university at the time. And we had a lot of snow then, and it was just really cold. And yeah, I'm just a bit confused. It's just been so nice, and then suddenly this. Hello, Robin. Aww. I don't think you can see him, but he's right by my feet. I must be desperate for some food. Let me get him some food, one sec. Hello. I've got some food for you. What is it? Some sort of suet. Hey. You guys aren't going to believe this, but he's actually sat on the camera now. Oh my gosh. Is this going to be the moment where it actually happens? I've always wanted to hand feed a robin, and I thought this moment might be it. He didn't actually feed from it, but he was sat very, very close. I stopped feeding the birds for quite a while because there were rats around, but in conditions like this, they find it so difficult to find their food. So I'm going to fill up the bird feeders and break them into slightly smaller pieces. I'm not going to put out too much because I know the magpies will be here, but just enough to keep them going till the snow melts. Come on, buddy. I'll see if I can fill up the water. Oh, there's the magpie. Right on cue. Well, you'll scare off all the little ones. The bird bath is completely frozen over, so I'm not going to be able to break the ice. Oh my gosh, even this is frozen. Let's get the bucket. Look at all that ice. Oh, sorry. I just scared the robin. Oh dear. Alright, sorry about that, but the birds are fed and they've got some water now, which is important to do when the conditions are so cold and snowy like this. And now I can't remember where I was. Talking about the seasons and how they've just suddenly flipped. It's caught a lot of us off guard. And yeah, it suddenly feels like winter is definitely here. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The last time it snowed. So yeah, quite rare circumstance at the minute. But otherwise, you know, this month it has been lovely, and most of it's been spent doing the shed up. I'm sure you've probably watched my shed makeover video. If you haven't, it's definitely worth a watch. You'll see how I get it all organised and completely change it inside. And what else have I been doing? Well, luckily I was frantically mulching the dahlias yesterday, so I've decided that I'm not going to lift the dahlias this year, because basically what happens is the tubers get so big and I run out of pots that are big enough, or I then have to divide them and end up with even more dahlias. Come springtime, I have to spend a lot more on compost, and I just run out of room in the polytunnel getting them started when I want to have lots more seedlings. So I've decided this year, excuse me, itchy eye, this year is the year that I'm just going to see how they go, and I've mulched them. And I think I'm quite lucky. Oh, Robin's enjoying a little drink now, that's good. that my soil is quite free draining, and what that means is it doesn't stay wet, so it doesn't hold on to too much moisture, it drains away, and that's great because it means that the dahlias won't flood and rot, essentially. So yes, yesterday I decided today's the day, so I got my compost and I started cutting them back. It started to snow, which was lovely, and then it started to snow even more, and I thought, well, I really ought to get this done before we get any more snow. So I was here all day yesterday mulching in the snow, which was quite an experience. And my technique this year was just to cut them to the ground level. I then put a layer of compost on the top, and for extra protection I've also used some wood chip because it's quite dense, and basically it's cheaper than the compost I buy, and I can apply a lot more of it and make a thicker blanket. So for me to make up that 6 inches in compost would cost a hell of a lot. So what I'm going to do is move back that wood chip in sort of springtime, because the young shoots of the dahlia may struggle to work their way around all those big chunks. But what it will do is really help insulate it in case we have a really horrible winter with more snow. So they're all mulched now, which is fantastic. I also got the garlic in, which I've been meaning to for so long, and I've gone for 2 varieties this year. One is the cloak white and the other is the Provence white, and those were the 2 that grew best for me last year, and there was just no messing about. I just wanted to get them in before I knew that colder conditions were coming like this, when, you know, we really can't work on the ground at all. So Robin is so sweet, he's just sat there. Look, there's food up there for you, buddy. I think he's just sat there watching everything thaw, having a moment. So yes, I've got the garlic in, dahlias are mulched, and the shed looks brand new inside. So those are my 3 big things that I've done this month. Aside from that, not much has changed, but we will have a little look round anyway, since it looks so snowy, and before it all thaws out, because I think by the end of the day this might all disappear. And it is starting to warm up a little bit now. I think when I got here it was about -1 still, but now the sun's getting a bit higher. One thing I haven't done so far this month is to plant my spring bulbs. And I've got stacks of them to plant, and I just think I just got a bit carried away when I was buying them, not thinking about having to plant them. But it'll be alright. Obviously I can't do anything like that today. Later on today I'm actually going to varnish my tabletop in the shed, and that's probably about it, because you can't really do anything in this weather. Well, let's have a little look round whilst the snow is still here, and I'll catch up with you in a bit on what I'm doing going into the next few weeks. Somebody's checking out that I'm still keeping my shed tidy. Hello, excuse me. My little inspector. Is he gone? Hope you're getting some of those spiders for me. Hello. Is it all tidy still? Hey? It's always good to look after the birds. Are you going to find the birdseed stash? Oh gosh, what are you doing? Hey, Mr. Robin. You going to come out? Hey? What are you doing in there? Perhaps I'll just leave him be. Find all them spiders. Alright, I'll leave you to it, buddy. Okay, we're going up to start the tour, because otherwise this episode might just be about birds, which some of you might not mind. Perhaps I should do like a wildlife special. In fact, I do have some footage of the wildlife camera I need to share with you still. Okay, I'm at the gate. Let me flip round. Pathway is looking very wintry with all that snow. It looked very secret garden when I was leaving yesterday. So magical. And here we are. So from the top, as usual, look at that picture. Snowy scenes. As I was leaving yesterday, it really was starting to come down quite thick, and I was weighing up whether I should stay and take some nice pictures and videos or leave so that I could actually get home safe, and managed to do both, so very pleased with that. Oh yeah, on this side my neighbours have actually started on their side of the hedge, and I've still got my side to do, which is why the right side's still leaning over a bit, but that's all nicely trimmed up on theirs. But the thing is, there's still a few little berries, look, around, like those blackberries, and there might be a few rose hips as well in there. So I'm absolutely in no rush to get that done. I know it may look a little bit untidy, but it's a real lifesaver for the birds at this time of the year. Over by the pond, some things are starting to die back, but that fern is still very, very green. So as I say, it's been very mild. We have had a couple of frosts, but not many really. And there's the Carex, which is great because it's an evergreen, so it's a nice texture throughout the winter months. And we've got my almost December delphinium, which has since yesterday flopped over. But remarkable that it is still blooming this time of the year. I think it's because I cut it back straight after it flowered in September, and we've got another one. Have you got any weird flowers going on in your garden right now? Oh, sorry. And in this bed here we've got my parsnips, which covered in snow, but that frost will help sweeten them up, turn all those starches into sugars, and I might actually harvest the first lot after this ground has thawed. So perhaps not today, but definitely in the next couple of weeks, see how they're doing. Strawberries, they'll have their tidy at some point. I haven't cut back the sweet corn canes yet. They're still looking rather spooky. Although the leaves are somewhat mulching the ground. And it's a bit of a mess down here where the raspberry canes are falling over in the weight of the snow, but I won't cut these back until February time. So this is an autumn fruiting raspberry that fruits on the growth that it puts on in the new year. So I'll cut these right back to the ground in February, and then all the new growth is where the berries will grow from. And the apple tree, that's due for a prune soon as well, now that it's going dormant, although it's still got leaves on. You know, there's a lot of that around. I said in the last month's video that it's still quite green for the time of the year, as I say, because that mild autumn. So it's still got some leaves on, but yeah, I won't be pruning this until late winter in February time. I do have a separate video on that if you want to check it out before you prune yours. Oh, gotta be careful now. Oh, my hat. Thank you, tree, for swiping that off my head. It's my old faithful hat. Those of you that have been here for a while will recognise it because it's the hat I wear every winter and have done for the last 5-6 years. I don't even know, but I can never find a hat that's quite like it. It will need replacing at some point, but for now, it's still going strong. I poured that water on the bird bath just moments ago, and it looks like it's frozen already, so perhaps we're not quite above zero like I thought. But we've still got lots of cover there for all the birds. I did trim that back hedge a few months ago, didn't I? So it's still got a nice view over there. Here I've got a spare bag of wood chip for mulching, but that is the thickness of the ice that I just pulled off the wheelie bin that I use as a water butt. Pretty thick. Oh my gosh, I just realised my robin is still here. Hello. Sorry if I startled you. It's alright. Hey! Please don't poop in my shed. Just contemplating life. What's up? Hello. Wow. This moment's actually happened. Come on, have some. Hey. Oh, you just pooped on me. That's not a nice way to say hello. What's he done? I thought I spooked him, but no. He's just flown over there. This is wonderful. Hey. I'll just leave the food by the watering can, alright? If you want some. I don't mind you pooping in the compost, that'll help. Just not on the counter, yeah? Alright? leaving Mr. Robin alone, is the view of the allotment from the bottom end. Not a lot to see now. So this is where the dahlias are thickly mulched. I do have some dahlias still in pots like this one. Hopefully it's going to survive that. But I will be planting all my tulips in my pots soon. And as soon as I've planted all my bulbs, my next project is to tidy up that mess. It's mostly just pots, to be fair, so it won't take me long. And now that I've cleared that bottom corner from wood debris, I'll move this cage over there and put all my leaves there for my leaf mould. I also need to sort out that compost bin, give it a good turn. I've not turned it for a long time. See what compost I have in there. My ginkgo, all the leaves are off of that now. Well, I did put some in the press, my flower press. And the back trellis is filling in. Ooh, you know what we can look at? My winter climbing clematis. Because this one flowers, there we are, usually around February time. This is its second year here. And we've got lots of buds. Doesn't really like temperatures past below sort of -6, so I do have to keep an eye on it when it gets cold. But some of the leaves are looking a little bit yellow, which is a bit worrying. Hopefully, if that's not just a shock, it could just be nutrients, so I could just bulk it up with put some organic matter down. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of snow, probably only about a couple of centimetres. Oh wow, I can smell the fennel from here. How unusual. Why can I smell it so strongly on this cold day when it's all dying up here? That's really strange. However, when I look at the bottom, there is lots of new growth down here, look. Gorgeous leaves. I don't actually use it for cooking. I really don't like that aniseed sort of flavour or smell very much, but yeah, it smells very strong today. I do love all those seed heads, like little umbrellas carrying the snow. So the garlic is now here, and that's where I did have my squash. It looks like we've had some birds. Oh, look at those prints. That's interesting. Wonder what's made that. Is that a rat print? It looks like it's done quite a big jump from there to there. Wow, how interesting. Wish I brought the wildlife camera to set up overnight. Perhaps it's a cat. It could be a cat. We do get quite a few cats here. And something's scratched around. Yeah, I'm guessing it could be a cat. And we've had probably a pigeon walking along here. What's made that with the lines? I feel like a detective now. I didn't do that yesterday, I'm sure. So it must be something with a tail. Interesting. I've got lots more beds to clear and tidy. The spinach, well, that's going to be completely unfazed by this cold weather, which is fantastic. It'll carry on cropping right through winter. And I've cleared this bed as well, which is where the other lots of squash were before the garlic. So this has been a double crop bed. One thing about the garlic though is that I need to think about the allium leaf miner for next year. It was one of my most annoying pest moments, would you say, of this year, because my garlic was probably the best crop I'd ever grown, but I couldn't dry store it because of the allium leaf miner, which is why I had to freeze it. But I want to avoid that next year, which means I'll have to net the whole crop from about February time, so I need to start planning that and get some netting and some hoops, because I really don't want allium leaf miner again, and it does overwinter in the soil, so you've got to be careful not to plant it in the same patch next year, or where you may have had other alliums like leeks or onions. Yeah, got to think about that one. And on my left we've also got the dahlia beds, which, as I said, I have been round and mulched. Nice thick blanket there of compost and wood chip, and I'll move that wood chip away in the spring. Oh, my thermometer. I just want to have a look at this because it was in the tunnel So the tunnel, the high of the tunnel was 9.3. Outside here, right now, currently, it's 2.9. So it has warmed up a bit. Overnight, minus 3.4. That's a lot colder than I thought it'd be. So there's not a lot to see in the tunnel, but we can have a look anyway. Right in front of the door though, we've got the fig tree that I moved in here just before I left yesterday. I was in a bit of a rush to do it because of the cold and the snow and those buds. I just wanted to give it a bit of protection here in the tunnel. In this bucket I've got some daffodils that I need to plant still. The majority of which went in with the dahlia beds at the top here. Oh, it looks like my Cape gooseberry is suffering a little bit, although it doesn't usually mind the cold. I think it's had a bit of impact damage, which is why that side's gone all floppy. Got some fruits on there, not quite ripe yet. Oh yeah, and this is the stool that belongs in the shed, guys. I know some of you saw the makeover video and thought, oh, you need a little stool. This is it, I have one, I just hadn't put it back in the shed. And I'm thinking, you know where the metal dustbin is under the table? I'm going to swap it round, so I've got that in here for the winter and the stool in the shed. And then come springtime swap them, because I won't have time to sit down in the shed come spring. Ooh, look what I just spotted. Is that a Cape gooseberry that's ready? It looks like it. Nice and papery. How orange is that fruit though? It looks ripe. You know when they're a little bit under because they're a bit sour. Which this could be, but it smells good. Oh god, look at all those brambles over the tunnel. I really need to sort that next. Anyway. Ooh, a bit cold. Oh, really good though. Love them. So yeah, just a bit of clutter left over from the shed tidy that I haven't gone through yet or found a place for. Yeah, it's 5.5 now. Let's reset this so we know how cold it gets in here for the next few nights. An old chilli plant. My lemon, which is actually doing fine. These new leaves look a bit funny because they've just come up. I do have some winter feed for it, and I don't know whether I should slow down on the feed now because of the winter time and it going dormant, or just give it one last one for all of these leaves that might want a bit more nutrients. And I'm just going to leave it in here now all winter long, and if it does get really cold I'm just going to fleece it and wrap it up a little bit. But I think they're a lot hardier than people make out, and thanks to Rebecca, Growing the Good Life on Instagram, she lives in Sheffield and leaves hers in her tunnel all winter long, so I'm going to do the same now too. And the same for my little lime, which has got buds on. I'm not sure if they'll actually produce fruit at this time of the year. It's got a few aphids here and there, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. My pansies, these are going to be going on top of the tulips when I plant them. Bought these as little plugs. They're looking really good now, nicely rooted. So I've got a couple of trays of those and some foxgloves. So I've just clambered up onto the mound, as I always do, fighting off the brambles. And look what I found. It's my first medlar, my Nottingham medlar. And it's still very hard. And I'm supposed to let it blet, which is when the frost comes and makes it go a bit mushy. I mean, I don't know at what point. Well, that's got a slightly bruised spot where it's a bit softer. I think that's where it's done it. But it's not, I don't think it's ready yet. If anyone's got any pointers on what I should do now, do I just leave it on the ground and let it frost? Not sure, but it's definitely not ready though, apart from that spot there where it's soft. Need it all to go soft. So here we are at the end of November 2021 with snow, but a beautiful blue sky and the chimes of the church bell. Can you hear that? So there you have it, that's my update for November. I've still got lots to do. I've got all those bulbs to plant, and it's not too late if you haven't planted your spring bulbs yet either, or your garlic. There's still loads of time, don't worry. And I like to hope that I'll get them in before Christmas, but if I get them done this side of the new year, then I'll be happy, because then they're all in. I've just got so many to put in, it's ridiculous. And beds to tidy and mulch as well. You know, the work never stops here. And thank you so much for watching. If I don't see you before Christmas, Have a great one. I'm going to try and put up some sort of video before then. But thanks a lot for watching, subscribing to my channel, and for all your love and support this year. So thank you very much. Take care, and I'll see you soon.